Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the Internal Combustion Engine Age YouTube channel. It talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, the SUVs, the dogs, the camper, the pool, the Hummer, the Blazer. Wow. Hey, good Friday morning there. Did I say Friday morning? I don't even know. I think I did. Wow, another week has passed us, and wow. Unbelievable, right? Just time goes so quick, and here we are. Hey, the November weather really is here. The feeling of Thanksgiving, the fall traditions are on our doorstep, and it really has up here in the Mid-Atlantic area. So it really has cooled down, and overcast, dreary, wet days are here, which that's kind of typical up in the Mid-Atlantic area. And so here we go across the driveway, as I always gab away and talk to you. I'm trying to figure out what we can talk about today on the Ice Age TV YouTube channel. That's had its ups, its downs, the challenges. What a year. It's hard to believe that 2024 is coming to an end. And this has been a hell of a year for me, of a roller coaster. From the incredible ongoing buying things to the incredible losing things and incredible losing a life that was so special to us, which is just incredible. The dog tag that came off that F450 that is sitting somewhere else right now, but not here. Where'd all the dogs go? Hey, here's the Blazer. It's all charged up because of green light. The daughter loves this vehicle. The daughter loves the EV. So yeah, the transition to the EV side of cars, there's no doubt in my mind, it's not going to stop. It's going to continue on, even though my daughter loves all the ice. But when it comes to working, this is such the better fit for her because of just the way it has all the technology in it, which it really is cool. And I talked about that yesterday. Where's the other dogs? That's interesting. Not the dogs at the front door. And I don't really run. Here, puppies. So I don't know. Hey, Ginger Scout. Are they in the back 40 rolling around in deer poop? Probably. That's what they do. They go in the back 40 and they find all the deer poop. And they've been doing that forever. All my dogs have. So if I was out there and say, well, they're all going to die. Well, it could be. I don't know. I can't tell you the future. I mean, I'm at the profit. It seems like there's a lot of profits on my channel. Yeah, it really does. It seems like I have a select few people on my channel that, there they are. Hey, here I am. Come on, babies. That seem to know the future. Can you please tell me the winning lotto numbers? I really do need help on that. I really need to win like $1 million just to get me out of the shit show that I've got myself into. But if you win $1 million, you'll bring home about 680. But that would actually get my life back in order for all the crap I've done to myself to try to grow a YouTube channel where you too will be so special and everybody will watch you. Yeah, good luck on that one, everybody. Take my channel as a learning lesson that it ain't gonna happen. If you don't have a pretty figure and a pretty face and some other incredible talent, I guess if I just bought a duck and dressed him up in a little outfit and walked him around my local town, I'd probably be a hit. Yeah, I haven't figured that out. Where is the other wheat and chair? Oh my gosh, where is he? I just don't know. So yeah, so the profits out there, help me on the winning numbers for the lotto. I mean, it sort of wins it all the time. Cracks me up on how people win $800 million. It's not even tomorrow's news anymore. So what are we going to talk about today? Here's Kiefer. It's so incredible how Kiefer passed on the 6th day of November. Well, they cremated him, so I should take that back. He was sorry. We lost him on the 5th. If I remember right, it wasn't a Monday. It wasn't the 6th, the election day. And it's incredible how much time I put on my channel talking about the political side, state of time side. And it's just incredible in so many ways on how Kiefer passed. And I was so overwhelmed with sorrow and hardships. Come on, Ginger. That the whole election thing just kind of went away on my YouTube channel. I said to take a time out because it was just too overbearing for the loss of Kiefer. But get this. But I think to myself, wow, is that a statement about how we're transitioning away from really, in my views, a very unique administration. And what's happened to Joe Biden besides not much? Not really much has changed on his end. Never was anyways. Wonder where Ginger went. Hey, Ginger. So here here's some more sad news. I mean, just beyond believable. So here's my outfit because of the cooler weather. Got my the Keystone look. So I have the Kevin Costner look. If you want your big Keystone to have the John Doolin, whatever his name is. Hey, Ginger. I don't know where she is. Oh my gosh, she just doesn't end. The dog challenges. Ginger! So, anyways, well, thought I let her out the front door. Maybe she didn't go out the front door. Maybe she's back in the house. She ain't far. She isn't the type of dog that roams. So here's some more sad news. So for Kiefer has a brother named Bong. And Kiefer had a mother. I can't remember the mother's name, but sadly for Amanda, that's a professional German Shepherd attack dog trainer. This past summer, I think so. She had to go away, and her mother took care of her German Shepherd, the German Shepherd, which is Kiefer's mother, and she was run over and killed. And so this is really interesting to me because there are certain people on my channel. I think Mr. Sanchez, he claims he unsubscribed. So I mean, whatever. I mean, he's getting all mad at me because of I don't want to listen to his views on how to raise dogs. So it's like, okay, well, come on up. I got a camper here. Let's let you pay for them and you take care of them. I mean, come on. Ride your motorcycle up here and we'll go motorcycle riding, Mr. Sanchez. I got a camper here. You can live in the back end. I'll live in the front end. And you just pay all the way. Pay me rent to live in the camper. And pay for all the dogs, taking care of them. And we'll let you raise them. I'm up for that. Because he's telling me all the things I'm going to do to my dogs and then kill them. And that's what I was saying. We got profits on the channel. So think this through. Here, sadly, for Amanda, professional dog trainer, and a professional dog trainer, and your dog gets run over by a car. I mean, think that through. Sadly, don't get me wrong. This is not me attacking Amanda by any means. She's a great friend of ours. I feel very sorry for her. But what I'm trying to say to you is, you have a professional trainer that ends up losing their dog that she used to breed litters. So, wow. Incredible, right? Well, here's now the latest, even more sad news. Kiefer's brother, Bong, apparently yesterday, he was run over and killed. So, for Kiefer's family, his mother was killed. Now his brother was killed. Kiefer is dead. And so this is what's another punch in the face. Is a professional trainer bought Bong down there in Ocala, Florida. She actually came to teach Kiefer when we were down there in Florida, out in 2023, after we surely had gotten Kiefer down there. She actually came to my parents' house. She drove from Ocala, Florida, and she personally came and helped train Kiefer with my daughter. And of course, we paid her. My daughter paid her. But that's how dedicated a trainer she was, because Amanda really wanted Kiefer on a schedule being trained as he was a little puppy. So she's a professional trainer, lives down there in Ocala, and her dog got run over by a car. Wow. I mean, wow. I mean, so sad. Julia's in tears. So, once again, I'm here on my channel trying to take care of dogs. Here she is. Come here, baby. Here she is. Probably been rolling down around, deer poop and pee and everything else. And so even the professionals that raise dogs, mistakes happen. Can you even imagine? I mean, that would be one thing that I really would feel. I would feel like I so made a mistake, is if my dogs got out in the street here and got run over. Then I'd be devastated. Because then I would feel like I definitely screwed up. If I had run over Kiefer with my truck or car, and it was dangerous. Kiefer would chase every vehicle we had. When I would move my cars around the property, that dog would be right on that tire, running around the car, running around the truck. I mean, it was borderline him getting run over all the time. And, I used to think, one day it's probably going to happen. One day I'm going to hear this big cry out from Kiefer, and he's going to be laying on the ground because I ran him over. Because he was just so aggressive chasing the tire and everything else. So then, even add insult to injury even more, Bowden, which is Kiefer's father, he has cancer. Wow. Are you hearing all this? So for Kiefer's family, just a total loss. Incredible. And Amanda would not let me buy 2 German Shepherds at one time. She was adamant, like, no way. And I can get it kind of with the dogs that she's training, as aggressive as they are. I can understand now more than ever that, yeah, that would have been challenging. And but the thing is, losing Kiefer, if I still had the girl, but good Lord, for all the what is going on in the family line of Kiefer's line, wow. Yeah, so wow. So the gist of that conversation is we don't know the end. And you know that. And that's the challenge in life, is we live in a society more than ever that wants to tell you how things will play out in your life. You don't know. You do not know. But I read it on the internet. Oh, get the hell out of here. Quit reading crap on the internet. So what's today's conversation? It's Trump. We're going to talk about Trump. That's what I'm saying. With Kiefer getting sick and ill, my whole focus and concentration was totally kicked to the curb in this YouTube channel, because I had a very sick dog that I was just heartbroken that I was getting ready to witness to be put down and lose, which was my heartthrob of my playtime and fun time. Kiefer gave all me that. And the new puppies, I don't think they will have that. I don't see it. They'll be companion dogs, but they'll be more like Ginger and Scout and Willow and Tango. They'll just be more companion dogs. I don't see them really being anything close to what Kiefer had, that uniqueness of who he was, and it'll never be replaced. So that story's over. But here's the thing. I lost all my momentum on the conversations of where this country is, the election coming, and I'm sure somebody felt like, here we go again. So here's Donald Trump he's not in office yet, but he will be. What is it, January 20th, I think it is? I can't remember. I think it is. I think that's official transition of the presidency. Somebody can fix that for me if you want to tell me that on my channel in the comments section. So, and it's even funnier that there's the dumbasses on Twitter and X, all the paid actors run their mouth and how already things are going south in the country because of Donald Trump. And it's like, Donald Trump isn't even in power. He's not even in power. And people run their mouths and how things are already going bad. Wow, man. You know, these people here, they're blunts. I really believe. I wonder how many people out there smoke pot. I think it's huge. I think, and don't get me wrong, I'm not being critical of anybody smoking pot. I'm just saying, I think the potheads among us is at the biggest ever in this country. And I think most of them smoke pot all day, get on social media and run their mouth. And they run their mouth all day long because they just feel like everything's beautiful, man. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. Like, yeah, right. Okay. Well, I won't be touching you, but maybe somebody else will. But so here's the thing. Trump gets elected. Wow. I mean, for me, I'll be the first to say, beyond believable, that Donald Trump pulled off coming back through being tarnished, drugged through the mud, and the list goes on and on and on. And for all the BS that other people believe of every bad thing he's done his whole life, and he's the worst person in the world, I don't get it. Here's a guy, I can about guarantee you, and I can guarantee there's nobody on my channel that could do what Donald Trump does. I couldn't even do what Donald Trump does. And what do you mean by that? Could you travel around the country 24/7 and give speeches at rallies for hours on end? That guy never stops. There's no way you're going to convince him you have that energy. That is an insane amount of energy. Joe Biden never could do it. Kamala Harris wasn't doing it. And this is the running joke. Yeah, so the curtain's being raised on Kamala Harris on how she's paying everybody off to make her look so big. Ha! Yeah, I mean, yeah, oh my gosh. Uniqueness out there, everybody. So, Trump, what an incredible feat for a guy to be drugged through this frickin' the most corrupt times in our life of the governing powers to be with agendas, to move agendas, that will do anything. And it says nothing new. So if anybody here thinks this doesn't go on in other countries, it has been going on for thousands of years, it's nothing new. It's politics, it's power, it's money, it's corruption. So if any of you moderators out there on YouTube says this is misinformation, screw you. You're an incompetent moderator. Resign from your job, because corruption is among us. State, local, government, big, small, it's everywhere. Come on, Google, you're part of it. You guys are corrupt. You're paying off people to get preference, to have your search engine. Come on. There's a big lawsuit against you guys right now. Yeah, but you guys don't cover that or talk about that, do you? No, hell no. Why would you do that? Because it'd make it look like you guys are the bad guys, wouldn't it? Right. So whole point here is, for Donald Trump, it's insane of what he's pulled off. And I think to myself, if you're the guy that went to the January 6th event to raise your hand, and maybe you raise your hand more than you should have, but the point is, here's all these January 6th participants sitting in prison and jail, and I'm going to tell you straight up, if Donald Trump didn't get elected, you'd probably start hearing about, but the media wouldn't probably share it with you, but you'd probably start hearing about people just killing themselves in their cells. Because they knew if Trump didn't get elected, then they got another 4 years, 5 years, whatever it may be, before they'd be maybe pardoned from another president if they ever got it. So their life may just be over in prison, and they're just going to cut the cord and they're done. So for those January 6 participants, you'd only have to figure that at the end of the day, that Donald Trump is going to pardon those participants. Now, I don't know. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll take the position that they really were corrupt. I don't think that is. And that gets heavy and deep, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time with that. But I'm just saying, if you're one of those participants, you probably right now have a big sigh of relief, because maybe you have a glimmer of hope of getting out of prison for going downtown and getting caught up in the moment of walking through the Capitol with the escort of the Capitol Police, and now you're in prison because you walked through the Capitol. And so for Donald Trump now, so you really think about it, is Donald Trump and Elon Musk now possibly the two biggest characters in our lifetime? Meaning that you have you have one of the most incredibly rich man in the world, Elon Musk, but then you have Donald Trump that has the personality of being an incredibly rich personality. You know what I mean? The guy knows how to talk. The guy knows how to stir up things. He knows how to get people motivated. He knows how to piss people off. He goes all different directions with Donald Trump. But the point is, now we have these two characters that are going to be, and maybe the powerhouse of the change of this country. And that's what I got thinking this morning was, what has Joe Biden accomplished in his administration? I mean, I'm just asking out as a friend. Forget the politics side. I'm just asking a question. Anybody out there at my channel, please make a comment. What has Joe Biden done for this country? And the first thing I think about is we're in 2 wars. The second thing I think about is we're in an incredibly expensive time of everything being so expensive. And people argue all day long about the pandemic, the shortages. I think to myself, he has enriched big business more than ever in modern times. So for Joe Biden, it's incredible on how so many want Joe Biden to continue the administration's policies and ideology through Kamala Harris with the puppeteer of Barack Obama. But yet, for everything that's been brought under his administration, has had a lot of severe consequences. At the hardships of so many of the likes of us that pay more for everything. Interest rates went through the roof. I mean, sincerely, I still can't figure out the interest rates thing. The interest rates went through the roof, but I never saw anything go down in price. Did you? I mean, sincerely, did you? I didn't. I have not seen where this raising inflation, that the houses are now half the price, that the cars now are half the price, that the food now is half the price. I mean, there's nothing that resonates anything to deal with besides the greed of the guys with all the money that enrich themselves off of higher interest rates for people to borrow money from them. Well, how stupid and incompetent people are in our society. They get caught up and listen to the MSNBC, CNN, and all the other left, and the right too. Don't get me wrong, the right media runs their mouth as well and misleads information. But it's just incredible on how, what did Joe Biden do? Joe Biden passed the Inflation Reduction Act, and this is very interesting here. And it's very interesting because Elon Musk, being he's the electric vehicle king for the country, if you really think about it, he's the guy that really put it in America's face, the Tesla product. So here is something very interesting. I bought this car and it qualified for $7,500 tax relief because it's built in Mexico. Majority of parts are non-China. And it's an SUV that's under $80,000. So it qualifies for a $7,500 tax credit. So I was telling you the other day that I had basically got $15,000 off the price of this car because of the rebates and the tax incentive. Well, breaking news. Donald Trump is going to take those tax credits away. Yes, so next year, once he gets in office, his administration is going to rewrite the IRA guidelines and rules, and I'm sure there'll be many more things to come, which is probably going to be a kick in the ass, kick in the pants for all these guys lined up for all the billions of dollars to be handed to them to open up yet another electric battery factory or solar panel factory or a semiconductor factory or whatever it may be. And they're going to find out real quick under Trump's administration, the taxpayers aren't going to pay for your greed to open a company to maybe one day make money, but it never really makes any money. They just bankrupt it, and what are you going to do? You know, they're going to walk away, and they made their millions while they tried to get it going, and they got their lavish houses and boats and yachts and whatever else they may have, and they just walk away because they don't have to sign off on the personal guaranteed debt to salvage the company. Yeah, this stuff goes on all the time. You know, it gets pretty crazy on how what you can do and start business and bankrupt businesses and nothing happens to you. If you know how to do it, you can do that stuff all the time. Yeah, ask me how I know. So for these $7,500 and the $3,750, because other vehicles qualify for half the tax refund or the tax credit towards the car, Donald Trump is going to take that away. And actually, Elon Musk is supporting this. Because Elon Musk, you can already see that he has a much more efficient, streamlined design of building cars over the union stronghold of Sean Fay, where now Sean Fay is getting a lot of union members who are telling him he needs to go bye-bye because Sean Fay was out there saying that Donald Trump's a scab. Does anybody remember that shirt that he had? You know, Mr. Sean Fay that raised everybody's income in the union so that you and I can even pay more money for cars, is jumping up and down on how he did such a great service to the country of making things even more expensive, and even, for the most part, supporting in some ways the transition into electric vehicles or ICE vehicles because he was such the Kamala Harris supporter that that's their agenda, to get rid of the ICE age and have the EV age, which in the end will have a huge consequences for all these union leaders and all these union employees because they're going to be phased out of their jobs because they're not going to need as many hands on a vehicle, because to build an electric vehicle versus a gas vehicle is a whole different ballgame. It's a more efficient way to build cars on the electric vehicle side. So in the automation and the list goes on, the robots. And so for Elon Musk, he actually is supporting this because he feels like this will actually in the end benefit him to be more competitive without all these. But you know, it kind of gets more. There's more to that than I think is being discussed in Elon's reason he supports this. But the point is, for anybody out there that's on the EV age, and you're thinking about buying an EV, you might want to go buy one sooner than later because these tax credits are going to be phased out. Now, does it really happen? I would say it probably will, because it's all this doggy, what the Department of Government, what is it? I'm trying to think of the word E, the dog, you know, the new Elon Musk and Vivek Ramsway, they're on now the page of going through the books of the government and start digging up all the waste of this government that's just handing out money left and right to just stupid ass stuff. And then the Inflation Reduction Act, which is basically a $1 trillion bill. At the end of the day, the Science and Chips Act and the Inflation Reduction Act, that was like $850 billion, $870 billion package to get people excited to bring infrastructure here to build batteries and cars and all the green agenda subsidies. And then you had the Science and Chips Act, which is like another $50 or $70 billion dollar package as well to entice those like TSMC, Taiwan Semi Manufacturing Corporation of Taiwan, to set up shop here in Arizona and to start making semiconductors here on domestic side, even though that's been a big challenge because they can't find the people that have the technology or the skills out there in Arizona to build that factory to their specs. It's been a big blowout out there. You don't hear it. The media hides it. There's been a big blowout out there in that design of that brand new mega factory out there that the union wants to have control of helping build it. But the Taiwan people are saying, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't know how to do this. So step aside. And the union people are taking it personally. And I think they've stalled it. I think they really have slowed it down. But I don't know. I read that like 6 months ago. So I'm not up to speed on what's really going on out there in Arizona. So for once again, what has Joe Biden done for this country? I think it's incredible. People don't realize that. Do you know that we're like the #1 exporter of oil now? Do you know that? Do you know that we're pumping 13.5 million barrels of oil a day, domestic side? Down there in Texas and New Mexico, we are having a field day. The oil companies are having a field day. The oil companies have figured out how to do shale type of drilling with a U-turn. These guys have figured out how to drill down with a drill and then have it do a U-turn to come back. And what it does, it eliminates having to have 4 wells, so you don't have to have 2 wells. It's a more efficient way of fracking and getting oil out of the ground, and it's very successful, and it's very lucrative, very profitable. And right now, we're right now outdoing Saudi Arabia by 35% more production stateside than Saudi Arabia is. So what did Joe Biden create? He helped support the Ukraine-Russia war, where the Russians were cut off from oil. Does everybody remember this? Does anybody remember in February of 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine that the NATO and the likes of Joe Biden said, okay, we know how to handle this. We'll just shut off the capability for Russia to get oil. The biggest freaking bunch of BS in the whole world. It never happened. And the markets bought into it. You and I had to pay for it dearly. The fuel prices went through the roof. And you and I were like shocked, like what the hell is going on? Well, why the hell is fuel going through the roof? When stateside, the infrastructure of cars being more efficient and more people than ever sitting at home watching TV and working has grown by leaps and bounds during that time frame. So the production of oil stateside, it wasn't being used. So, we were not using as much fuel as we used to because we got more efficient. But yet we're paying through the ass for energy because of this guy named Joe Biden that's in a war and participates in blocking Russia from getting worldwide access to the oil markets, hoping it would drive their oil down to little to nothing, and that would make them suffer so they couldn't run a war. That idea didn't work. So you and I paid dearly. So in turn, what happened is stateside, the national or the natural gas guys, these guys, their business went through the roof because Russia cut off Europe from getting natural gas. And that's a huge problem for the Europeans that relied on the Russians supplying them natural gas. So now, all of a sudden, our stateside, we've got all these major tankers lining up at the ports, getting filled up with natural gas to go to Europe, and they're selling the most natural gas ever in modern times. And then the oil side, our domestic side of oil companies, I have not seen one oil company guy get in front of the media and complain about Joe Biden. I haven't seen one natural gas. I've not seen any energy guy get in front of the media and complain about Joe Biden or his policies. Because they know the green agenda is just a bunch of malarkey, and it's not anything in the near future, near time. It's going to put these guys out of business by any means. So these guys, under Joe Biden, what has he done? He enriched the oil companies more than ever. Donald Trump, under Donald Trump's administration, the oil companies went broke. Yes, because of the pandemic. Does anyone remember we had negative value on the barrel of oil? We had a negative $30 value because the whole markets came to just a freeze where nothing was moving or being used because everybody was sitting at home worried that they'd die tomorrow from touching something that had COVID on it. So for Donald Trump, the energy companies suffered. So in so many ways, the energy companies, are they happy that Donald Trump's back in office? Because they got hurt big time under his policy in so many ways. Now, of course, Donald Trump wants to drill, baby, drill. But the reality is, these oil companies have been drilling, baby, drill. And anybody thinks that they got shut down. They didn't. You can go on the Keystone Pipeline bullcrap over there to Canada and America. I'm not talking about that. All these people say, yeah, but didn't the Biden administration shut down the capability to drill? Future, not now. Those can be reversed under Trump if he wants to. But right now, the oil companies are very content. Really what happened in the oil industry, too, domestic side, I've talked about this before, is the EPA had such stringent guidelines in refineries. When we went to pandemic and the whole industry went to half of production, half of use, that's the facts, we realize it or not. When pandemic came, the whole industry tanked. And so for the refiners, the oil companies, they didn't feel like investing money in the refineries to update them to more stringent EPA guidelines for them to be able to use them to refine fuel. So they shuttered them. So after the pandemic, we lost X amount of refineries, which then did kind of put a crunch on the fuel supply in our country for a while. But meanwhile, you know what else Mr. Joe Biden did? He released the petroleum reserves that are really only meant to be used for war. And I know other presidents have used them per se. But the thing is, he drained it the most of any sitting president in modern times of depleting all of our oil reserves. And sometimes you think, is there a reason for that? Is there something down the road that we don't have the oil reserves if we're ever in dire straits in a war to be able to continue to do what we do? It sounds far-fetched, but hey, did you ever think a pandemic would be on your doorstep in 2020 and you'd be told to go home and you'd be told you can't go places? Did you ever think that would happen? I mean, don't just be so confident, because today is, well, you remember, where's the prophets? I'd like to hear the prophets, tell me what tomorrow is, and you know what tomorrow is. I mean, I hear the prophets a lot on the social media machine. I heard the prophets telling everybody that Donald Trump wouldn't be reelected. Donald Trump would go to jail. And the list goes on and on and on. I heard a lot of prophets saying how great Joe Biden is and how we're going to build back better. Build back better? It's more like make everything more expensive. That's all Joe Biden did under his policies. He made everything more expensive. And everybody that's on the other side was saying, whatever this guy brings to the table, everything will be more challenged and more expensive. But the other side would be like, no, you're just an asshole. You're just a dumbass, because the conservative base are people that aren't educated. The liberal base, everybody's professors, and we're all, very affluent, astute individuals. Okay, well, cool, great. Can you tell me what tomorrow is? You can't. So for Joe Biden, what is he going to hand Donald Trump? So there's the thing. So that's why, for me, what I think about with Trump is, so the undermining of Trump again is in the works. It's in the works. But can we get maybe Elon Musk and Vivek Ramsway to get the ball rolling, to get this government back into the check boxes of where all our money's going, and let's focus more on the government instead of the government focusing more on us. And that's what we can only hope that this guy Vivek Ramsway with Musk can deter the attention of the constant government belittling the citizens of what they haven't contributed to this government to make them even more powerful. But now it's time for us to look at the government and say, but what have you actually done for everything we've given you? And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to say the government's a terrible thing. I'm saying to you that we need to have a government oversight committee. That's what Elon Musk is doing. And we can pull the distractions away and attention away from Trump, because once Trump gets in office, you're going to see the curtain rise, and you're going to see then the flavor of the media machine that loves to beat up Donald Trump then get ignited like never seen. They got to be careful right now because he's not in office. So, how can you start attacking a guy? I mean, how can you attack a guy and his policies when nothing's even happened and Barack Obama is still in charge? I mean, so when it all goes to the chit show is when Barack Obama loses his job. Yeah, so that's the real story, everybody. Barack Obama, he's had a hell of a ride. He's had a hell of a ride this last 4 years, and his lights are getting ready to turn off in his office. But will he let that happen? Absolutely not. So he will be on the other side of the equation, then trying to undermine the Trump presidency, and that'll be their goal. That'll be his goal. And once again, this is my opinion, so it doesn't mean that it's the facts. I'm not the prophet. So for the moderators on YouTube, I'm just speaking opinion. Now, if you think I'm that smart and dynamic, wow, I love it. I mean, if you really think that I'm that talented and smart and really know the truths and the facts that others don't, then where can I get a really high-paying job and run my mouth all day and get paid a lot of money for people to believe me? I mean, come on, right? I mean, that's the gig. If you become a media journalist that's spotlighted every day of your life on one of these major networks, you make millions and millions of dollars. Could have been Sean Hannity. There's no doubt in my mind I could have been a Sean Hannity, but I wouldn't want to be a Sean Hannity because that guy just drives me nuts. That guy just reads content and then he sits there and blabs his mouth all day long and they just feed him content and he runs his mouth on it. So I'm just not a Sean Hannity guy. I mean, a lot of these media journalists, I don't listen to them. So I don't listen to news. And so many people are like, hey, listen to this guy's blah, 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 station, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't want to listen to it. Because all it does is then just starts to brainwash you to believe everything that guy tells you. And you can take it the same way on my channel. But the thing on my channel is I do have, most of the time, half the content here in the morning is talking about the cars and trucks and motorcycles. Then I go to the State of Times. But then the majority of the content, for the most part, is sharing with you my craziness of buying yet another car, another truck, another motorcycle. You seeing us have fun. So on my channel, it isn't just always non-stop talk of the dire straits of the country or how beautiful it's going to be because somebody else is now in power. I mean, you all know that's not the facts. More of the facts are you see just real time what I do and what I get away with and what I don't get away with as people scratch their head on how the hell does that guy buy another car? And what happened to the Hummer? I don't know. Scott is off work today, so I don't think I'll know anything tomorrow. But, you know, it's one of those things where, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If it isn't, it ain't. And whatever. It's another day, another project. So what am I doing next? I don't know. I'm always got the wheels turning. You know that. So that's it, everybody. I'm gonna call it a day. Got a very busy day again. Got to run the business, keep the kid and Brian going. And they got a busy day, too. So who knows what plays out next. But I appreciate everybody support my channel. And I hope everybody has a blessed day. So God bless. Have a great day.